How you guys doing? Is that cool? Is it cool to know about our industry when you hear Mike Mezak talk about, what was that, 252 coins sold over $1 million the last 3 years? I mean, that's kind of wild, isn't it? It's kind of neat that we're like the first collector of these coins that historically has appreciated. I just think that's really neat. One thing, and I have I want to keep things very, very basic. It's about a 4-hour training, so I appreciate you guys. No, it's not. It's not a 4-hour training. But how many would stick around? Just curious. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's funny. Some people have the commitment, some people don't. And, Jake talked about this a little bit, but 18 months ago, I had to pay attention. I had to learn, how do I make money with this thing? But we just didn't have any training. We didn't have anything. I had a guy quit because we didn't have business cards. He's like, how am I supposed to get the word out, Ray? And I'm like, well, they'll be here at some point. I mean, that's back when you had to have faith, before anyone was making money, before we had any kind of cool presentations. We had one coin, and so you had to have a lot of faith back then. In fact, I say it all the time. I know there were people in this that came into Numis Network, and quite frankly, they came in too early. They came in too early because they didn't have the level of belief and faith that they needed to stick with it that early on. You see, now it's getting easier and easier to believe in this company and to have faith because you see it working. You see people winning stuff. You see people making money. You see people, we didn't used to have this many 4-star managers and above that would get up at a meeting in Tampa. It didn't used to happen. Now it does every single meeting that we have. And so now it's easier to have that faith and belief. One thing that is absolutely critical to your growth and your ability to build this business, if that's your goal, if that's your goal, and I always preface that, because if someone doesn't take the steps that I suggest or that another leader suggests, or that someone is sharing with you that has worked for them, if you don't do those steps, that doesn't make you wrong, because there's some people that don't want more. We are looking for people that want more, people that want more time, more freedom, maybe more money. That's not always the case. It's not always more money. And we have several people, and I know some of them are watching right now on Ustream, and some are in the crowd, that maybe they do okay financially. Maybe they got that, but they just don't have the lifestyle that they deserve or they desire. And that's a big difference. I know people that make a lot of money but are miserable. Does anyone know anyone like that? They don't get to see their kids. They're working so hard. And I found that, when I was working my way up corporate America, it's a really squeaky stage. Right. And, I found that when I was working my way up corporate America, the better that I did, they would give me these, small increases, but also greatly increase the demand. And so now all of a sudden the family that I'm working so hard for, I have to stay away from more the better that I did. Network marketing is quite the opposite. It's the exact opposite, polar extreme. The better that you do, the more vacations you get, the more residual income you have coming in, whether you roll over in bed or out of bed. That's very powerful to understand. That's such a difference than in corporate America or in your typical type of job. One thing that's critical to your success is self-improvement. Every single day, there's not a day that I skip that I'm doing some type of self-improvement, some type of motivation. I don't know it all, right? I know, ask Jessica. I don't. Some people found that funny. I knew I'd get somebody. Where are they? And, how many have received this? How many have received their first one of these? Honestly, how cool is that? How cool is that? $9, $10, and you get a magazine, you get the CD, this is so powerful. I listened to the 3-book summary. That's so cool. I happen to read, a few books a month, but to also have a breakdown of 3 books, leadership books, a month on a little CD that I can listen to is pretty cool. And so I would highly suggest, if your goal is to be on this stage, if your goal is to have a financial impact in your life, get this. You can sign up, get it. It's a no-brainer. Okay? And I know, it's funny. It's really funny to me I have certain people that will tell me, I don't need that motivation stuff. But you know what's funny? Is not one of them that say that to me have the type of lifestyle that I desire. Do you know that? Isn't that interesting? They don't have the type of results that I desire in my life. And I'll tell you, I need motivation every single day. I don't understand how we have so many people that live a couple miles from here that didn't make it. You guys understand that? And then they complain, why aren't I being successful? I show up to events to get re-energized. I have to show up to get remotivated. There's nothing, you don't reach a certain level and you no longer need this. This is a community. This is a family that we have, especially right now, while we are small, while we are nimble, while we have this, we can have all the founders at our meetings and their beautiful wives. See, one, I don't know where they are. Okay. But, we're at a very special time where you have that. Very, very powerful to understand that. Okay? And so my presentation today is on the power of two. And I just put together some very simple observations and some different things that maybe will leave you here empowered. Okay? Will leave you here empowered. So I want to talk about a couple of things. Let's talk about two mistakes. Number one mistake, we don't talk to enough people. If you're not getting the results in your business, do you realize whether you're online, whether you're offline, whether you're this, that, whatever, okay? Do you realize it's simply not talking to enough people? This is a numbers game. That's it. It's a numbers game. And I'm going to tell you exactly what we do. A lot of people have confused what it is that we do. And I'm going to share with you what we actually do here in network marketing. I'm going to share that with you here in a minute. Two mistakes. And these, I put together the two mistakes I see the most. Number one, we don't talk to enough people. Number two, we blame our sponsor. We blame our sponsor. In support, I don't know if any of the support girls are here, but support actually has a procedure that I've instructed them to use, and that is when someone calls the company, wherever they are, I don't care, and they complain about their sponsor or their upline or support, that they give them my number. Okay? I say give them my cell phone number. I want to talk to them. And, and they always email me. Hey, Joe is going to be calling you. He's got this. He was brought in by this, and he's upset. Right? I'm like, all right, cool. And so they're saying, my sponsor wasn't there for me. I don't have the support. Okay? They tell me this person's going to call. Less than half actually call. Less than half. And the other half that actually do call, they tell me. I hear it all the time. Well, my sponsor never called me. I got involved. They didn't call me. And I always ask, I'm like, if they did, what would they say? What would be the elixir of words that they would conjure up to get you to perform? You tell me that, and I'll repeat them to you. Right? Just tell me, and then we'll get right to it. I'll fix it. I'll fix the problem. And, it's something that you have to understand that you are not, and I love what my man Larry says, you're not an ICR number. You're not 14,653. You're a human being that is a business owner inside of Numis Network. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You are a business owner inside of Numis Network. Just because your risk is only $495, don't treat it like a $500 hobby. Do you hear, do people buy McDonald's for $1 million and then they call the company and say, well, the guy that sold me this, he doesn't come. No. They go build the business because they got money on the line. They've put it on the line and they're treating it like a business. Big difference. I can assure you, if you are not seeing the results in your business, it has nothing to do with your sponsor. Nothing. You have to be willing to build this business whether they will ever call you back. Okay? Now, some of us are blessed with better uplines or better sponsors or whatever, and, great. I had a guy tell me before we got in here, He said, so I got a whole bunch of people on my one leg, so I guess, you get into Numis Network, you just have one leg built for you, right? I'm like, well, not everyone, right? Not everyone. I had to build both legs. A gentleman you saw up here earlier, Cedric Harris, had to build both legs. A gentleman, I don't know if he's not even in this country, nor does he have a cell phone, but David Wood had to build both legs, right? Has anyone heard of that guy? No. But I can assure you that if you're not getting the results that you desire, it's not anyone else's fault. I have never been in a company where there were more support than in Numis Network. How many agree with that? More accessibility, more training, more people that step out for people whether they're in their team or not. That's what I see in this company. I remember we did at Numis University in Vegas. How many were in there? How many were in my room when we did the little powwow there? Okay, a couple of you, a few of you. And we went around the room and said, instead of why gold and silver, why coins? I had it, by the way, speaking of coins, I had a buddy of mine, a real estate investor I used to, see all the time. We used to speak on the road and stuff. He sent me a magazine, and it was Coin World, right? I'm like, all right, cool, And so I texted him, I said, hey, thanks for the magazine. At some point, I probably should study coins. I don't know anything about coins. We're in the people business. We happen to have a cool product, a product that no one's offended by, embarrassed of, or has too much of. And now they have no risk to even get. But I don't know that much about coins. If they want to know about coins, I send them to Mezak, and he'll sell them something. Right? He's good at that. I'm not good at that. And, so that's something that's powerful to understand is we are in control of this. We're in absolute control. And so one of the questions that I asked in our little Vegas powwow is I said, not why gold and silver, not why, but why this team? It was so powerful. I heard Larry Beecham. I heard Burke Hedges. I heard David Wood. I heard Amy Jo Neal. I heard Irwin and Eva. Heard all of them talk about how awesome our team is. That we're here with one vision. You don't have people saying, well, whose team are you on? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Patty. Can't help you. Nope. No. Right? We just don't, I don't see that. Now, has anyone ever seen that in other companies? I've seen it. I've absolutely seen it. In fact, before you even hear someone, before you meet somebody, like, whose team are you on? Okay, hey. Or it's whose team are you on? Right? They walk the other way. That's true. We're just not like that. We have a mission here to help some people become financially educated and help them have a better lifestyle, whatever that means to them. If someone doesn't want to make, $1 million a month, okay, well, that's cool. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, right? That's their choice. But I can tell you right now, you are unable to blame the company. You're unable to. Unable to blame the company. 5-year buyback. They've paid me every week on time. All right? They've sent my product on time every time. You can't blame the company. It's impossible. So I see people levitate to blaming their sponsor. And I'm just telling you, it makes no difference. If you are to succeed, you will succeed, period. You will be hungry enough to make it happen. Whether your sponsor is AWOL, whether they checked out a long time ago, does not matter. Okay? Let's talk about 2 questions. Are you living a life? And as a father of 2, this resonates with me deeply. Are you living a life that you feel will inspire your children if you have or will ever have kids? Are you living that life? They're following your example. They're going to end up, almost, in some ways, a carbon copy of you. Are you swinging for the fences? Are you going for it all? Is that the type of role model you want to be for your kids? We were watching, I've shared this story with a few people, but we were watching this movie, Imagine This, with Eddie Murphy. Anyone ever seen that? Eddie Murphy? Imagine, what? Imagine that, whatever, right? Analyze this, analyze that, whatever. And, and my kids had never said this to me, anything like this, actually, and I never really thought about it. But when I was in corporate America, I was on a treadmill to work more and more hours. The better I did, the more projects I juggled, the more hours I put in, the more weekends I had to show up because they owed me. right? They owned me. Not owed me, but owned me. They owned me, right? Servitude. And we're watching this movie. This was maybe a year ago. I actually have this as a video on my website because I thought it was so cool. And you know, the story is about Eddie Murphy that works a lot. He's a stockbroker, and he works a lot, kind of ignores his daughter. And my 12-year-old at the time, he's 13 now, but my 12-year-old says to me, he goes, you know what, Dad? I'm so glad that you have time for us, and you're always there. You know, he'd never said that. How powerful is that? How easy could it have been to go the other way? How easy could it have been? Because, I mean, I'm like OCD, all right? You know, when I got into Numis Network, I'm Numis Network, right? I'm a very, very focused guy. And so whatever I've been in, I've been very, very focused on. How easy would it have been for me to become focused with climbing the hierarchy of a corporation? I was there, very close to sticking with that, very close to going that route. Would have been a much different route than this, than being able to take them where I want, when I want, than being able, you know, me and my new beautiful fiance back over there, you know, being able to take them to school every day, being able to have breakfast with them every day before school. You know, that's powerful. That's a lifestyle that I desired and went out and got. Okay? And that's something that you can never have that time back. Never. Okay? So think about that question. With what you're currently doing, and this was actually inspired by a gentleman in the crowd, my friend Larry. He helped me come up with this question. With what you're currently doing, can you impact the lives of others to help them financially and to help them grow as a person? You know, one reason to come to these events is to have that feeling that the people around you want you to succeed, that the people around you aren't fighting for the crumbs at the table and think that that promotion should be theirs, not yours. One reason to come to these events and to be a part of this Numis Network family is for the feeling, to come out feeling empowered, to feel that people believe in you, that they believe in your greatness. You know, we've seen people transform right here on stage. We've seen it happen. We've seen people go from an area such as myself of lack, of limitation, of non-belief, of struggle, of strife, to of abundance. We've seen that happen. But what's cool about it is everyone around you is pulling for you. They want you to succeed. That's a different feeling. You don't get that. You don't get that too many other places. You just don't. You know, we talk about the buyback guarantee. We talk about the coins, which are great. Love them. Awesome. Okay? But one thing you're unable, you'll never need to sell back is the growth that you will experience from being part of this family. The growth that you'll experience from being part of this community here that is constantly striving to bring you good trainers, to bring you good training, to bring you materials such as this. Do you realize this is cheaper than what you could buy it on the website for? But we include a Numis Network specific CD with it. Do you notice that when you buy materials such as the Robert Kiyosaki CD, do you realize you're buying them at cost? It's like $1.40 a disc or something. You know, do you realize other companies sell that same disc, same package, for $4.95 each? I've seen it. Numis Network sells you that for what they get it for. Constantly striving to see you succeed, to help you. So think about that. Maybe you're doing great, and you know what? Doing great while people around you aren't, that's not that fun, is it? You know, on the last 7-day cruise that we won, had a blast at, had 2 of my very best friends on there. Okay? One of them's here, Brady Young. 2 of my best friends. Imagine traveling around on these cool vacations that were paid for with your friends. That's pretty cool. It's pretty darn cool. So 2 possibilities. Here's what, when you bring someone into Numis Network, they got 2 possibilities. This is what I see. 2 possibilities. Okay? Number 1, they grow mentally, spiritually perhaps, and worst case scenario, they get 100% of what they paid in 5 years. That's just crazy. Now I know there's some people that are more logical than emotional. Okay, that kind of appeals to both, doesn't it? So none of your friends are going to call you and say, I got a garage full of crap. Can't believe you, man. Right? I don't know where these accents come out. No idea. Right? Oh, Dave's not here, man. I don't know. Right? But you realize not one person will ever make that call to you because you'll reply, well, if you only want 100% of what you paid, sell it back to the company. Do you realize that this right here makes all other network marketing companies too high risk? Too high risk. How many prefer low risk or no risk? Okay? Whatever you're doing, that's what I prefer. Okay? Low to no risk is a good thing. Okay? All other network marketing products I could get stuck with. They might go bad in my garage. That's high risk. I can't get any percentage back. Very powerful. What's the other possibility? You change someone's life for the better, and they're forever grateful to you. Every presentation I've done since July 15th of 2009, I have thanked my sponsor, Chris Beraldi. You know, if Chris, let's run a what-if game. What if Chris never called me? What if I called him for 3 ways and he never picked up? What if I asked him to do meetings for me and he never showed up? What if? What if he jumped over to some other, whatever MLM, right? What if? You know, I would still be grateful because he got me here. He introduced it. He picked up the phone and invited me to come check out a presentation. I would still be grateful. And so if you're not 100% happy with your sponsor, call them and thank them because they got you here right now, which I believe is the biggest opportunity that most of us, perhaps all of us, has ever been involved in. Thank them. They got you here. All the rest, you know what? Maybe they weren't perfect for you. That's okay. They got you here. They made that call. They sent that email. They invited you to an event. They did it for you. And you know what? What do I want? I want people up here thanking me that I called them. Okay? You know, this past week, you may have seen the email. This past week, I had another one of my friends that I've known for 7 years, I think. 7 years I've known John and Stephanie Iannotti, and I have another personal 5-star director. Thank you. See, that's cool. That is cool. When you know that the people that you've invited into this business followed the system, did what they were supposed to do, and now they've made a financial change in their life. That's pretty darn cool. Okay? There will be people that will thank you if you only talk to them. If you only talk to them. So it's 2 actions. This is what we do as network marketers. This is all we do. Okay? And we can make it as complex as possible. And we usually do, don't we? We usually do. I hear some crazy questions, right? We usually make it as complex as possible because it can't possibly be this simple, can it? Can it be that it's this simple that we present information and we provide options? Could it be that simple? You realize it is that simple. We present information, we provide options. You notice in there, it wasn't we hard close them. It wasn't that we pressure them. It doesn't that we chase them, beg them, or bug them. We present information, we provide options. Okay? Sometimes they're going to say no to those options. That's okay. Sometimes they're going to say no right now, but yes later. I've seen that only 1,000,000 times. Okay? What we do in our head is we project that they're going to say no before we even present the information. And then we get upset when we see them sitting in the crowd because someone else invited them. Right? How many know what I'm talking about? No one. Okay, no one has seen. Yes, you have. Liars. In fact, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did a presentation in Tampa, and I had 3 people come up to it. This was a house meeting, okay? And you guys know who I'm talking about, right? It was a house meeting. Had 3 people come up to me and said, I can't believe that person's here. That person is my next-door neighbor. That person I worked with for 20 years. I was sure they would never come to this kind of thing. I'm like, oh, you mean the one filling out the application right there? Is that what you mean? Right? It's going to happen. if you don't present the information. And here's what's key to understand. There are people going through some struggles. People did not know how bad off I was. They didn't know that my personal house was in foreclosure. They didn't know that half of my rental properties were in foreclosure. They didn't know that there were months that I had Jessica pay my utilities bill. People didn't know that. You know, that's not something you wear on a button. Ask me how broke I am. Right? They don't sell those buttons. And you wouldn't wear it if they had it. Right? People didn't know that. My personal friends didn't know that. So you don't know that. You don't know who's in your cell phone that is struggling, that you refuse to present information and provide some options to them. You know, you realize they may not have options. You know, it's kind of tough to get financing for about anything right now. You know, we had at one of our meetings in Naples, we had a business broker there. And he sells businesses, he sells franchises, and he does his research and tries to fit people in. And I'm like, hey, how's financing for businesses right now? Forget it. Financing? Forget it. I mean, do you realize this may be the only option to a lot of people that you know that are in your cell phone? And you're scared of them telling you no. You're scared of them looking at you cross-eyed. You're scared of that, okay? Don't be scared of that. Present the information and provide options. Do you realize if you just stick to the numbers, you know, the answers will work themselves out. The yeses will work themselves out. The no's will work themselves out. Just stop building up that pressure that you have on yourself, prejudging them that they're going to say no. Here's what I can assure you. No one that you talk to will have a higher net worth of people we already have. Okay? And vice versa. Okay? You're not going to find anyone that has a lower net worth than some of the people that we have. So doesn't that kind of make sense? I mean, we have guys in this business have a net worth of over $100 million. But some of us are scared to talk to, you know, our next door neighbor. And then there's the people that have no options. Okay? Present the information, provide options. That's it. That is it. Every other way that you cut it, you're making it too complex. You know, are you going to have a 100% close ratio? Of course not. Present the information, provide options. 2 cares. You have to care about people more than your ego. Yeah. That stings a little bit, doesn't it? That stings a little bit. You have to care about people. You know, there's people out there that wish that they had more time with their kids, that wish that they had more time with their family, that wish that they could take their kids on more vacations, that wish that they had more money, to have better experiences. You know, money, it just makes you more of who you are. If you have a giving person, you realize if they have more money, they'll give more. You know, it doesn't corrupt you. It just makes you more of who you are. And vice versa. You know, our friends that are jerks, you know, with more money, they'll be bigger jerks, right? They may still be fun. I don't know, right? Depends. But we have the power to choose who we work with. You know, I know some people that they won't approach the people because they care too much about them. Oh, I just care too much. Oh, no, I couldn't. I don't know. Do you realize that's your ego tied to your relationship with them? You don't actually care about them. You care about your ego in regards to them. You're worried about damaging this rather than actually helping them. Because if you don't try to close them, if you don't try to, you know, muscle them down, right? If you simply present information, provide options, you are caring for them. And if they say no, that's fine. I'll tell you, I've had some people upset at me, and I hope you do too. Okay? I had people call me and say, Ray, one of our friends just said you just want a car. What's the deal with that? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing this thing, you know, I make money promoting gold and silver, teach people how to do the same. Dude, why didn't you call me? I mean, what? I'm not a good friend of yours. We did real estate together. You didn't call me? I'm in real estate, Ray. Hello. I've been affected by the economy. Right? I have had people mad at me. So prevent that. At least present the information. At least present it. If they say no, you can say, well, yeah, I did talk to you about it, remember? remember I did present this information to you? It wasn't a good time for you. Totally cool. Oh, that's right. Oh, my God. Right? Care about them and present this information because they are looking for it. There's a lot of people you know that are looking for this information. You have to care about people that will be inspired by your story. I love what Wayne Dyer says. He says, don't die with your music inside you. You know, each of us have a unique and powerful story that could motivate and inspire millions of other people. Each and every one of you have a unique story that someone in the back of the room could be identifying with right now, but you're selfishly keeping it in because you won't go out there and present information. You have the power in this company to inspire other people that need inspiration like nothing else. They need inspiration more than they need bread and water. And you have that power. And you have this stage. You have that capacity to do that. But that is up to you. So you have to care enough to do what it takes to share your story. You know, if you never reach the ranks, no one's going to hear your story. They're not going to hear it. Get up here. Get up here so you can share that story and inspire other people in the crowd. And that is regardless, whether you're 22 years old, whether you're 92 years old. You know, we got a gentleman in Hawaii, 72 years old, does 2 meetings a week. Works like, you know, like I wish most of my reps worked. Right, Chris? We got Conchita, 78 years old, enrolled 6 execs in 1 week. She's like, well, I just don't understand why they would say no. So cute. So cute. But she's presenting information, providing options. She hears no's too, just like everyone else does. Your story is very powerful, and there are people that will identify with you, whether you're a CPA, whether you're in IT sales, whether you're a college student. There are people that will identify and be inspired by your story, and you're going to have them come up to you if you get up here. If you get up here and you work your way up the ranks. If you work the career path of Numis Network, you will have people come and say, and they'll pull you off to the side and they'll say, listen, man, when you got up there and you talked about your daughter, man, it really inspired me. You're going to have people do that. You're going to have people do that if you put in the work. Okay? So don't selfishly keep that story from everyone else. They want to hear it. Let them hear it. Let them hear the story. And if you inspire one person in your life, isn't that a pretty powerful life? But what if you inspire hundreds? What if you inspire thousands of people? I mean, could there be a better life? I don't know. What would be a better life? I don't know. And I'm talking about inspiring people, not just feeding them, not just bringing them water, inspiring them to go and inspire other people. That's a chain reaction. That's a powerful life. Do that. 2, trust. Trust that the owners and the leaders, we're here to serve you, not to babysit you. Okay? But to serve your already powerful self. Okay? I was listening to a CD that Jake suggested to me, George Zalicki. He says there's some people that are going around still looking for a place to plug their umbilical cord into. Do you know people like that? Right? Looking for a place to plug it back in. Right? Ever since this thing stopped, I've been lost. Right? Need to get some kind of help here, right? You're powerful, and you know it. You know it. You try to play it down, and I talk to some of you on the phone, and I know that the owners and the leaders of this company believe in your greatness more than you do, because you have it in you. I'm reading this. I started reading this new book, Life Without Limits. Has anyone read this? I'm surprised. I figured you would. Nick. I can't say his last name. But he's the guy with no arms, no legs. Now you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Could we possibly conjure up an excuse after hearing his story? I encourage you to go out and look that up on YouTube. No arms, no legs, Nick. Unbelievable. Okay? So you are great. You can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish from right where you are. It's all about just making that decision. Make that decision to make this a priority. Ian talks about this. Numis Network, it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. It's easy to stay focused on your 80-hour-a-week job. And I talk to you all the time. Those of you with 80-hour weeks, guess what? You're going to keep having them. And keep having them, and keep having them, and keep having them, until you realize that you've lost some of those precious moments with your family. You've lost some of those precious moments of your life that you can never get back. Okay? You're going to keep having them. Unless you do something. Unless you do something to break that chain. You know, someone told me, you know what, Ray, I can't show up because Saturday is family day. Wouldn't it be nice to have more than one day of family day? Wouldn't that be nice? But you know what? You only get there by putting in the work now. Put in the work now rather than to put in the work forever. That sounds like a better plan. If there's no light at the end of your tunnel, know that Numis Network can be that light. Put in the work and make that change. Trust that we want success for you. We really do. You know, Cedric he's not hiding the magic bullets from you. He's not suggesting something that's not going to help you build your business, and neither am I. Neither is Dave Wood. You know, I mean, I study the heck out of Dave Wood's stuff. I want to know how to be whatever. He's amazing. I study his stuff, but do you know he really tells you exactly what he does? He gets people to watch the presentation every day, and he presents that information and provides options, and he does it consistently every single day, so he gets a lot of signups. That's what he does. Okay? That's what he does. Why? Why would Dave Wood, Cedric, myself, anybody, why would we have something that worked really, really well and we would keep it from you? No, mine. My money. None for you. If you find out the secret, then you'll do it. That's the point. If we have something that works, we want to share it. We want you to do it if it works. If it works, we're going to share that with you. We want you to do it. Okay? There's nothing we would want more than for you to do it. So understand that we are here to serve you. We're here for you to have success. You realize, I don't care if you sign up, 1,000 people a year. If you have no duplication, if no one's doing anything, you're not going to have that great of a lifestyle. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to keep, signing people every day. It's going to be tough. We have to teach things that work. And so sometimes you may not get the answers that you want, but we're telling you that because we want you to succeed. We really do. Talking to people is infinitely more important than what WordPress plugins you have. Okay? Some of you are like, what? Right? Okay? Talking to people. That's our business. Talk to human beings. Online, offline, whatever. Talk to people. That's our business. Cedric talks about this all the time. Money doesn't come from the mint, doesn't come from trees, it comes from people. We need to talk to people. Present our information, provide them options. Some are going to say yes. And I would argue that based on all the companies I've failed at, okay, you may not know this, some of you do, some of you don't, but I've been in juice, I've been in travel twice, I've been in diet cookies, I've been in gas powder, I've been in an Aztec grain. My suggestion is that if you present this information, more people will say yes to this than any of those other things. Okay? Trust me on that if you've never been in all those other things. Okay? It's gold and silver with a 5-year buyback, and there's only 15,000 people in the whole company. That's so powerful to understand. It's so powerful that if you just put your head down right now, you could be set your entire life. And there are some veterans, and I would encourage you to talk to them. I would encourage you to talk to someone like Jake, to someone like Burke Hedges, to people that have 20-plus years in this industry, and just ask them, how big is this really? How big is this opportunity? What if you would have gotten into some of these billion-dollar companies when there was only 15,000 people, and you worked your way to 5-star to get a cut of the entire company? How big is that? It's huge, and they'll tell it. Talk to them. Ask them those questions, and they'll tell you. So my 2 beliefs, I believe we're going to change the lives of thousands of people. I fully believe that. I believe it with all my heart. Someone arguing that Numis Network is going to work out, you might as well argue the law of gravity. You know what, Ray, that law of gravity, I just don't see it. I just don't get it. I don't think that thing's going to stick around. You might as well argue that. That's my belief in this company. That's my belief in these founders. In the beginning, you had to have some kind of belief from somewhere. Okay? It certainly wasn't our presentation or our marketing presence. If you Googled Numis Network, you wouldn't even find the corporate page. I'm not joking. You wouldn't. And, you had to have belief. I believe we are going to change the lives of thousands of people. I really believe that. And I believe that if you play all out with us, if you really get on the field and you play all out and you follow our training, you snap into the events, you show up to Numis University, you empower the people in your team by bringing them along and helping them along and supporting them, bringing them to these events, being on the Success CD, staying motivated every day, talking to people and presenting your information. If you play all out with us, I don't believe that you're going to look back and regret it. Now, I can tell you right now, there's going to be some people that are watching this on Ustream, some people in this room right now, that won't play all out with us, and they will regret it. Do you believe that? There will be people that will regret not playing all out with us. I know it for a fact. I've already seen it. There will be people that will regret not playing all out. Because do you realize you won't see how big this is for another year or two? You won't really get it. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom when we're filling, a stadium. It's hard to fathom that we have an event in, corporate headquarters in Tampa and have this crowd. You won't be able to fathom it. Not for another year or two. If you play all out with us, I do not believe not one of you will regret this. Not one of you. Not one of you. Play all out with us. That's my encouragement. And what if you do? What if you play all out? Do you know you feel more satisfied? Do you know you feel better at the end of the day? Do you know the people that you'll inspire by playing all out? You're going to inspire your kids. You're going to inspire other people. You're going to inspire the people that told you no. They're going to be inspired. Wow, told that guy no, but man, he's a machine. He's dedicated. He's focused. They're going to be inspired. You're going to inspire a lot of people by being there with us. So I want to end with some gratitude. I want to thank all of you for playing on this field with me. I really do. Some of you I talk to more than others. Some of you I see at events only. Some of you I talk to on the phone all the time. Some of you I see on Facebook. And I want to thank all of you that are playing on the field with us right now. I think it's so cool to have this kind of family right here, right now, in this economy. In this economy, there's not a lot of uplifting things. People are watching, Charlie Sheen, right? That's what they're choosing to watch, while the economy burns. That's what they choose to watch. That makes a lot of sense. It used to be Britney's hair, now it's Charlie's drink, right? So those are, you realize that's a WMD. That's a weapon of mass distraction. A lot of people fall prey to weapons of mass distraction that take you off your task, that take you away from your dream. You're either growing toward your dream or you're going away from it because you're not standing still. You're doing one or the other. Charlie, is he going to get you to your dream? Probably not. Okay? Makes for some funny jokes, and there's a lot of comedy writers that are thankful for him and grateful to him. I get it, right? Will not carry you ever toward your dream. That kind of nonsense, those weapons of mass distraction will never carry you toward your dream, only carry you away. Only take away your focus. That's why this kind of stuff is so important. This is so important because, God forbid, if we only put in negative crap into our heads all day through radio and TV and newspaper, if that's all we do, what are our results going to be? What are they going to be? Can't help it. You can't help it. We're constantly inundated and bombarded with negative information. So how about taking a small sliver, just a tiny sliver of that, and make it positive, make it powerful, become a leader? Okay? I want to thank you to the owners for making this such a wonderful business and lifestyle. I mean, little hand for the owners and their families. They've made this fun. They've made this a lot of fun. They really have. They have constantly come up with new innovations, constantly come up with new things that inspire us and get us pumped up and energized. And, to see, to have, someone asked me, we enrolled someone in Honolulu today for my friend Ray Fong. And, he had me on the phone. And I said, yeah, Chris was just out there. He's like, and, he doesn't know. And he's like, oh, Chris, is he a rep? Or, I mean, no, he's a founder. He's like, oh, was he vacationing? No, he was doing a meeting. He's like, oh, really? Wow, that's kind of neat. He just does meetings? Yeah! Our founders, they have their jerseys on as well. They do meetings too. That's pretty darn cool. You won't see that forever. You won't see that forever, right? But it's pretty darn cool that you're involved when you're seeing it right now. And I've never seen it in any other company, that a founder travels to a city for your team to help people do a business presentation. Pretty powerful, pretty darn cool. I want to thank my fiance for believing in me when, I went through a period of time where I didn't believe in me. And it's at those times, it's at those critical times where you need to be surrounded by people that believe in you. And we all fall prey to it. I don't care what star you are. We all fall prey to that. We all fall prey to the negativity, the mass mediocrity, the trance that people are in around us, telling us, the cynicism and the skepticism and all the other isms, right? You fall prey to that unless you're surrounded by a powerful community and family, which we are here at Numis Network. And I really thank Jessica for always being there for me. She has been tested time and time. And just want to thank all of you out there in internet land. Where's Cedric? Speaking to you live out there. And thank all of you out there that I've yet to meet, that is playing with us and having a good time with us and growing with this company. We are a very tight-knit and powerful family, and we're going to keep it that way. And we're going to keep putting people, strong, powerful leaders into this company to empower and train you guys and build this thing into a billion-dollar company. So thank you, guys.